There is this seemingly question that sometimes get asked. Is it institutions or people? Well, I've got to answer this today. It is seemingly invisible issues that are easy to ignore that end up being the most consequential. Institutions are not buildings. Institutions are people. And if the people have wrong attitudes, this will manifest through the institutions that they lead or they are in. For quite so long, we sometimes seemingly behave as if things are supposed to be the way we think. That's a wrong thesis. And to begin with, we must look at what causes failures in institutions across the world. I say this because we have most of the time overlooked the most critical component of good institutions and even good governance, which is one word: people. Strong institutions need people to run them. These people come from the very societies that practice the negative vices that sometimes manifest in the very institutions we talk about. Whether we're talking about government, whether we're talking about elsewhere, when we talk sometimes, I always ask, why don't each and every one of us start to offer solutions rather than blame others? Societies are where we all come from. Attitudes, we learn them from the very societies in which we live. And failure to take responsibility is what results to the reality that we face today. The reality then brings us to the most important aspect of strong institutions, which is, one word again, attitude. The attitude of citizens determine whether strong institutions can take root. These attitudes I'm talking about manifest in a preference for individualism rather than collectivism. We see this in society. We don't even talk about these things. Nothing will work if we don't address this. This flawed attitude manifests in our failure to nurture selflessness. And a preference instead is given for selfishness. A preference instead is given for entitlement, which runs through society. And these are things we must be able to look at. The point is this: strong institutions are a manifestation of the collective attitude of people. When we talk of weak institutions, we are talking of the collective impact of a citizenry attitude in society. Citizenry attitude in society. And unless we address the attitude of the collective citizenry, then talk of strong institutions will continue to be elusive. So the point now is, we know that. How can we then bridge the gap? And listen carefully. Nurturing strong institutions need a purposeful and enterprising citizenry. Did you hear that? And these cannot happen if all of us at an individual level do not align our drive for socio-economic solutions around selflessness. A whole of society approach is therefore needed, where firstly, we do this. We develop purpose to act with what we have as individuals, which is our skills, which is our talents, building on what we do, not always waiting for elusive perfection or hoping to get what we think we need before we take action. I call this stubborn opportunism, working with what you have to turn a challenge into an opportunity. And the second point is, we must develop the attitude to work selflessly with the communities to co-create solutions with them so that socio-economic challenges can be turned to opportunities. And as we do so, we must remain humble and ensure that we work with everyone to solve problems, not look at personal material gain. It is out of preferring and delivering solutions to the socio-economic challenges we face, to address the challenges of our mothers in villages, so that they can be able to have solutions to the post-harvest losses, to be able to turn waste into briquettes that we can then be able to drive the solutions that we need in society. Because many will start to see that material creation that is happening will also inspire those who are seeing it. And that will mean that the experiences that we see can inspire other people to pick up from them. And this will reduce the attitude of selfishness in society. If we start to do this, it will not only inform policy from a more practical dimension, but also create an attractive product that inspires. One thing we must all know is that one camel does not make fun of the other camel's home. This is an African proverb which reminds us that the strong institutions or lack thereof that we talk about all the time are not a matter of finger pointing and blame game. We are all guilty as a society for nurturing such. And in solving them, there are no shortcuts. We must all engage and become selfless solution providers in whatever we do. It is out of nurturing selfless values at an individual level that we change the societal norms of self-centeredness that have fueled sometimes these issues and challenges and failures we talk about. Such selfless actions aimed at generating solutions to challenges around us and using what we already have will also serve to provide empirical lessons to inform policy and institutional processes from a more practical, realistic dimension. Why am I saying this? Over time, if we do this, as selflessness and solutions become the first center point for everyone, rather than self-interest getting entrenched as a societal norm, we will start to see more people who end up in policy decision-making positions that we have become accustomed to. We will then start to see them doing what needs to be done, nurturing selflessness and making it a core value. With these values nurtured, then we'll start to see the emergence of strong institutions. So the onus is on you and me. No blame game, only positive action and selflessness. Thank you.
Innovative volunteerism is a mindset change overall.